Hello, and welcome to Bourbon Battles. I'm Joe.
I'm Chad.
Hey, hope you can follow along here. A couple episodes ago, we need to go out in. We did the top 10, what do we call them? Bangs for your buck whiskey.
Bang for your buck whiskey.
Bang for your buck whiskey. And it turned out real good. We got a lot of compliments on that video. We got asked to do more top 10 lists. So tell them what we're doing today there.
We're doing a top 10 high octane.
Right, they already know that because they saw the intro video. That's pretty slick.
Why you had me tell them?
Just in case they didn't pay attention, they fast forward till they got to see you. You look respectable now with your face all cleaned up.
And my haircut.
There's another video that'll go out before this after you did it. So here's what we're doing. We're doing the top 10 high octane whiskeys. Almost all of these are 125 proof or above. There's a couple that aren't.
The list that you and I came together.
And it's worth talking about. When we did the top 10 bang for your buck, I think we had 6 or 7 in common.
Yeah.
With this one, I think we had 6 in common as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't sit together and come up with a list. We just do them and then compare them. And then when there's 6 in common, those 6 go. And then out of the other ones, we determine which 4 are there.
We draw straws.
We did draw straws. We had a discussion like adults. It wasn't anything like adults do.
I was going to say.
And then we decided to throw in quit rocking the table.
Sorry.
We just started to throw in a rye just for a bonus. See it down there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about some different things. We'll talk about other things in these same categories that could go in there. And what we're drinking here is, we're drinking these blind.
Well,
how else would you say it?
Well, I would say this is a little different. Because
this is a little different.
I picked what you're drinking and you picked what I'm drinking, but neither one of us know.
I don't know what's in this glass. Chad doesn't know what's in this glass.
I know what's in this one.
You do? What?
High octane whiskey.
That's right. So out of these 10, 11 because of the rye, we each picked, I guess we could say our favorite, right? And poured it in the other one's glass.
No, I didn't pick my favorite. I just picked one. I didn't think you'd be able to tell what it was.
You're supposed to pick your favorite so you can talk about it.
I didn't do that. I'm sorry.
Gee.
I can still talk about it.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay. Smells good.
Is it?
I'd say they're all good.
I don't know.
Why would you put it on the list if you
That
didn't?
smells good.
Why would you put anything on the list if you didn't think it was good? Top 10 list.
There might be something on the list that I didn't want that you did.
But that's not how we talked about it. Do you remember all that?
No.
Oh my God. We got to get into it because we got to start getting these videos shortened up.
All right.
Yeah, we got to get them down. You go first. These are in no particular order. It's not 1 through 10. It's just 10. And if your favorite whiskey's not on here.
So, this is probably one of my favorite barrel proofs. Elijah Craig barrel proof from Heaven Hill. I will say that the newer ones are not nearly as high proof as some of the ones from 4 or 5 years, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I mean, there were some that came in at close to 140. These newer ones have been less than 125, but a lot of your private barrel selects that they have out now are north of 125. But, I mean, I think, and price has gone up significantly, but they're good.
You could substitute this with a store pick very easily. They're probably easier to get than these now.
Yeah, I think so. And they're cheaper.
At least in Indiana. And if your whiskey's not if what we talk about is not obtainable in your area, I'm sorry. We just did what we did, and we're not going to apologize for it. So,
but like I said, this comes from Heaven Hill, and
12 years old.
Yeah, these are 12 years old, and a lot of your private barrel selects are 10 years old. But there's not much. I don't see much difference with the age, but the proof being higher on the private barrel selects I like better. But I like hot stuff from Heaven Hill. So
boogie right along. What do you say?
Yep.
This is one of my favorites when it comes in store picks, but it's still good. 1792 full proof, 125 proof, coming out of 1792 Barton Distillery that's owned by Sazerac, the same people that do Buffalo Trace. That'll put a horsey on here. This is really good to me. I love this stuff. It drinks easier than 125 proof. However, typically you find them in store picks. That's the more common way to find them.
The majority of the ones I've ever seen have been store picks.
And there's some of the store picks that I've had are some of my favorite whiskeys in the world, which is why this landed on the top 10 list. Keep rolling.
Let's do this one. Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
You know what that'll do?
If you drink enough of it, I do. So this is from Wild Turkey, obviously. It's their barrel proof expression that they come out with. 116.8, I think, is what the proof is on it. And it also does not drink really hot, I don't feel like, but it's traditional whiskey, traditional bourbon. It's got a little more flavor than, say, the 101 or even the Wild Turkey 80 proof or even like the Kentucky Spirit or something like that. But it's, in my opinion, it's good value and it's a good one to have.
Do you like it better than the Russell single barrels?
Some of them.
I agree.
I like it better than some of them. Some of them, no. I think some of those single barrels are some of the best out. But
well, I'm talking about just not the store picks, just the run of the mill batched, or I guess they're all single barrel. Yeah. That stuff that if you're going to put stuff up that may disappear someday, I'd say that's something you ought to put up. It could go away.
It's not going
We'll
anywhere.
see. My turn, right?
Yep.
Hey, I don't know if you can get a better value than this stuff. This could have easily been on our top 10 bangs for the buck. Benchmark, full proof, 125 proof, screw off lid coming out of Buffalo Trace. Same mash bill as George T. Stagg and Stagg Jr. Pretty good stuff. I think have we done an episode on this? I believe we have.
We did.
This is a sub $20 bottle that drinks way above its price.
And I think until recently it was only available in Indiana.
Yep.
But I think they've started distribution throughout the Midwest, at least, if not nationwide.
Yeah, I see it down in Florida now, too.
Actually, I saw some out west when I was out there, so yeah.
You should have one of those, especially for the price. If you want to get into higher proof stuff, any of these is a good way to start. But that's something that's not going to break the bank, and you're going to be able to find it.
Mm-hmm. Next one.
Hello.
Booker's. Now, I will say this about Booker's. I think that Booker's is really good, and I think that it's been falsely shorted to increase demand. But it's most of it's only 6 or 7 years old, but it comes in usually at north of 120 proof.
I think that particular one's 125.
This one is Bardstown batch.
I just grabbed one, a random one, just to show.
But it's it's Jim Beam. So if you're partial to Jim Beam and you'd like a Jim Beam barrel proof, this would be a good place to start if you can find one. Around us, it's gotten more and more and more, and continues to be more hard to find for whatever reason. It's a distribution thing. But yeah, it's, in my opinion, it's good and it's worth having.
Chad and I both like the Bookers, but I would say as far as the value, it's not the greatest value out there.
No, you're going to pay for it, but it's I think as opposed to all the high proof ones, it's got the most unique flavor.
Everything on this list, that's not the first one you should go out and buy.
Probably not.
Here's one of my absolute favorites. I almost picked this one to put in your glass as a favorite, but I didn't. So, are these always store picks?
Well, I mean, they've had distillery picks too. So yeah, they don't just have a random bottle set on the shelf. It's a single barrel bottle.
Yeah, this stuff's not really easy to find, but it is out there. This is a barrel select, barrel strength. This particular one comes from Merle's Whiskey Kitchen. It's called Bourbon for Breakfast. If you're ever down there around Old Forester, right across the street's Merle's Whiskey Kitchen, they got this stuff. I love this particular one. You've had it.
They right now's the season for a lot of the single barrel Old Forester single barrels too. So like in August all the way through in October,
This particular one's 129.7. I think they all hover right around there.
They're pretty high proof.
They're pretty high proof. They're stout. They're full of flavor.
They are.
I'll take this over birthday bourbon any day.
Absolutely. No question.
No question.
No matter what anybody thinks, no matter what anybody says.
And a heck of a lot easier to find. In fact, I don't know when this video comes out, they still have some of these down there.
Right. So. Okay. If you guys saw our top 10 bang for the buck, then you saw this. Rebel Cask. And it is from Lux Row. However, like I explained before, I think that it is probably still sourced, but it is getting very close to being their own, coming out of their distillery. Either way, it's 120 proof. It's wheated. The Rebel is wheated. The Ezra Brooks is rye. It drinks really good, and for the money, it is especially good. And for the availability, if you can find the Ezra Brooks cask strength, you're going to find a Rebel cask strength because almost every place that I know of, every place that I've been, has both. So I don't know if they go through and they pick 2 barrels. I don't know how that works, but and it says these say they're special limited edition, which maybe they are, maybe they're not. But there's a lot of people that have them. A lot of stores, a lot of shops, a lot of clubs, a lot of restaurants. They have them, at least in Indiana.
Every liquor store that does the private barrel program around here has them. That's why that's on the list.
And they're good. It's definitely worth the money, especially if you're looking for a high strength weeder. It's definitely worth the money.
You could easily put, you mentioned it, Ezra Brooks goes right in there with it. So
right.
This has gotten to be, the next on our list here has gotten to be one of my absolute favorite whiskeys. And I'll even say my favorite bourbons. Just because. They're getting a little scarce. You can still get them in Indiana, usually in a pint size. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof out of Lynchburg, Tennessee. Good old Jack Daniel's. This particular bottle is 126 proof. I've seen them up in the 130-ish. Anytime you get much higher than that, they send them over for the Coy Hill expression, those kind of things. This thing has got just an insane amount of flavor. It uses the Lincoln County process, but that is absolutely delicious. And I think you tried it for the first time in this room, and you were pretty surprised.
Well, let's be realistic. They've been making whiskey a long time.
They know what they're doing.
Yes. And it's a Brown Forman company. I mean,
I want to say these guys are putting out like 25,000 bottles a day or something insane.
I have no idea.
Some insane number, but yeah, Brown Forman makes that. A lot of people get the banana notes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I tend to get them when I know what I'm drinking, and I tend not to get them when I drink them blind. There, I said it. Tasting
What's
notes.
that tell you?
Tasting notes are stupid. We'd say it all the time. Oh, and I just said when I drink them blind. Why do we normally drink stuff blind here?
I don't have any idea.
Because we don't give a rat's ass what's on the label. And we didn't give a rat's ass what was on these labels. We just like good whiskey, and we picked some of our favorite high-octane whiskeys.
Last for me, Larceny Barrel Proof. There'll be a lot of people that argue with this because they don't think that it's that good, which I think that as the expressions go on and the newer ones come out, I think the newer ones are significantly better than some of the first ones.
Definitely getting better.
I think they're definitely getting better, yes. And this is also from Heaven Hill, and it's also a wheated bourbon. Anybody who's ever had regular larceny knows. This is just
it's the same
larceny uncut, basically, is what this is.
Which is the same thing as that.
I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know.
That is true.
You've been one to screw up mash bills more than once. So either way.
It's a rebranded bottle of larceny at a higher proof.
But the larceny barrel proof, they come in 120, 128 proof, something like that. They come out 3 times a year. But they're kind of hard to get your hands on. Not necessarily, but you have to be at the right place at the right time anymore to be able to get them.
Pretty reasonably priced.
They're very reasonably priced. But for those of you that like wheated bourbon or wheated whiskey in general, or who like larceny in general, it would be, my opinion, it'd be a good idea to try to pick up a bottle of this just to try it because it's definitely worth having, I think.
I'm a big wheated bourbon fan. I think you are too, wouldn't you say?
For the most part.
That's my favorite stuff is wheated. I like that bottle. I have had some of the other ones, older ones, that I didn't care quite as much for. Is that an A from this year? The first release of this year?
Yep.
Do you have a B?
I can't answer that.
I have, from what I understand, it's quite a bit even better. So, last one on my list is Maker's 46 Cask Strength. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they said, "What's your everyday drinker?" And my comment was, "Well, it's Evan Williams Bottled and Bond." And I thought about that. I really need to replace my everyday drinker with this stuff. It's everywhere. It's absolutely delicious. I think it's one of the best whiskeys in the world. You can take it a notch up and find a Private Select, which is a store-picked barrel. And I don't know, they're in every single liquor store, even the picks around here.
Yeah.
At some point, they don't
Because
sell out.
nobody likes them.
They don't sell out fast.
You know why?
Because they're dumb.
No.
Because it's a Maker's Mark. No, horsey. Hey, grab that one over there. Show everybody. That will make them sell out. Love Maker's Mark. You tell me that wouldn't sell out right now. Watch this. Love this stuff.
The problem with drinking high proof whiskey is Joe acts like an idiot.
You start making noises and playing with unicorn
Yeah.
toys. This stuff is as good as it gets. If you don't have one of these in your collection, I would get one.
You know what else I've heard? And I don't know, I can't confirm this, but I've heard that the 46 cask strength has been rebottled, like the 46, into the new bottle. So I don't know.
Oh, is that like they did with the regular 46 last year?
I had not seen it, but I know that I've talked to some people who would like to find bottles of this if they can get it for whatever reason.
Just have cool bottles.
Just because they can say they've got an old one.
This is one of the store picks. This is actually from Star Hill Farms. You and I need to get into that and taste that. These store picks, which is it's not the same thing as 46 cask strengths. They put other staves in it, but it's in the same market line.
Same ballpark.
Yeah. Don't sleep on the. Have you ever had a bad one?
Yeah.
You have.
Well, I won't say bad, but I've had one that I didn't think was very good.
I have not had a bad one. I've loved every one.
I've only got a couple. So.
2. Yeah. You want to do the last one as a bonus?
You can do it.
We're going to do a rye. We kind of went back and forth on this. We could have easily put the Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye that we did in our top 10 list.
I still can't believe how good I thought it was.
Don't talk about where it's at because it may come out after this.
Oh, okay.
Probably not, but we don't know. We love the Hard Truth Sweet Mash Rye. That could have easily taken the place of Barrel Seagrass.
I will say that I think this is exceptional. That's just my opinion.
Is it one of the most unique whiskeys you've ever had, you think?
I don't know if I'd call it unique. I just think it's exceptional. I mean, I know I would have never guessed in a million years that it was that good before I tasted it.
And this, I think
we tasted that blind against something else, and it won. I think, didn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember how we did it. I'm guessing it's an episode from some time ago when this stuff had just won some big award by that I can't even think of that guy's name that's on the internet talking about whiskey awards. But anyway, this won some big award. This is all blended stuff. I think everything they do is a blend.
They have flooded the market right now. I mean, there are barrel products everywhere.
Hey, you know what we didn't talk about? Hopefully you watched a couple videos before this, where we talked about Red Barrel Liquors as the official liquor store of Bourbon Battles. Head over there and see Alex. He's got some really unique new expressions from this same company you ought to check out. And I'm guessing he's got probably a good amount of what we looked at today. So if you haven't been there, go to Mooresville, Red Barrel Liquors, see Alex. Make sure you put it in your GPS because all the construction. But this stuff, it's great.
It is. It's good. And I'm not typically even a rye person. But, yeah, I think it's good.
I just tasted it again to remind myself. I haven't had it in a very long time. It is so unique. You know how you catch a unique rabbit?
I do.
Okay. So, tell me what...
You know how to catch a tame rabbit?
Tame way.
Yep.
You want to tell me what I'm drinking?
Well, you've had like 8 glasses since...
First. What was I drinking first?
What do you think you were drinking?
46 cask strength.
You were.
Well, what do you think you're drinking?
I think that it is the Rebel Cask.
You're close. It's a 46 cask.
Is it?
Yeah.
We both picked the 46 Cask.
Yeah. I think it comes as no surprise. We both love that.
Right.
And we both love the private selects.
Well, hey, at least I got the weeded part right.
Chad's been looking at something I think is really, really, really interesting. You're kind of comparing these Maker's Mark private selects in different regions of the country, right?
Uh-huh.
Like something that comes from out west compared to the deep south.
They taste completely different. Which is weird because it just shows that regional tasting is different throughout the country.
And every store picks, if you haven't done store picks, we'll do an episode on store picks and talk about that. But it's, I think it's the direction bourbon's going, and they're going to be like it's like your own unicorn. Because once that barrel's gone, it's gone. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Buffalo Trace store picks. Speaking of store picks, Alex over at Red Barrel's got, how many do you think he had when you were in there the other day?
He's got a bunch.
We just talked about this one the other day, and I'm guessing he's still got them. These old 55 store picks out of Indiana are fantastic. You know how we feel about that if you watch the last videos. The great thing about store picks is most places, maybe not some of the big chains, but most places are these independent liquor stores who I'm all about supporting will let you taste them.
You should never buy a store pick if they won't allow you to taste it. My opinion.
Unless you know what. I mean, you buy a Maker's Mark.
Not if they won't let me taste it. I usually won't. No.
Huh.
I'm pretty hard-headed, though, in case you didn't know.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned. Hey, while we're talking about all this stuff, don't be a whiskey butthole.
No, it's
a bourbon butthole. Don't be a bourbon butthole.
Or a whiskey wise ass.
And what should have... You know what's number one on our list? We have 11. I'm just going to say it. We have 11. You know what's number one? Your favorite whiskey, and drink it the way you like it. Not how everybody else tells you to do it.
Fact.
And when you drink it, share it with your friends.
Fact.
Don't drink and drive.
What are you supposed to do?
If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.